We are at the farm today, and I'm in the 8345R and the harrow. It's a 48-foot harrow. It's a bunch of spikes, and it's a pretty heavy bar. And it just drags on the ground and breaks up big clods of dirt. We're going out to a field that's already been disked. But before we can do that, we've got to fix this little chain thing that broke. I love ratcheting tools so much. I think they're so cool. However, I'm realizing that as this is ratcheting, it's really just spinning the whole thing and not tightening it. So I'm gonna go get the impact. That's what it's called. Now, I'm just gonna go over here. Not this one. Here we go. Got it. We're ready to rock and roll. That looks about good. I think we're ready to go now. Ooh. Okay, well, I might need to clean out the cab. That's okay, it's a problem for another day. It's not even a cold start, it's like 50 degrees outside. All right, let's see how this thing folds up. So I believe it's just this hydraulic. Oh, there we go. Yep, I'm just going to raise it up. Our chain is holding nicely. Once this cycle completes, I believe it just pulls itself in. There we go. Nice. Excellent. All right, time to head to the field. All right, so the trick to unfolding this thing is that you've kind of got to be slowly creeping forward as you do it. So that way the rakes get distributed evenly, if that makes sense. And then I'm going to speed up just a little bit. Okay, actually speed up a little bit more. And put the rakes the rest of the way down. There we go. And now we're harrowing, just breaking up any big clods of dirt. So then when it comes time to plant, we have a very smooth bed for the seed to lay into. Making a smooth bed to plant into also makes it a lot easier on our planter because the planter doesn't have to break up as big of chunks, and it's just like a smoother ride. All right, I ended up not putting on auto steer because I figured out that the whole 50 acres that I was planning on doing doesn't actually need it. So I don't want to go over it if it doesn't need it. So right now I'm driving around just picking out the areas that have clods that are about this size because I really don't want to plant into those. It's a little bit bumpy, as you can tell. Everything's looking good though. I believe we're done here. I'm very happy with the job I did. Satisfied. I think I got all the big strips that had clods in it, and it's time to move on to our next job. So we're roading the harrow for a few miles. So I started driving down the road and I noticed this. Well, I would say that is a little bit of a problem. Dad's coming to help me now. All right, Dad came up with a genius fix. So quite literally what he did, I was really worried that the tire was so far off the rim that we were going to have to like do the whole like explosion thing to get it back on. Luckily that was not the case. So what we did is he pumped grease all around the seal, and then we started pumping air into it, and it wasn't very far off the rim, and the grease was thick enough that it held air in enough for the tire to go back on. So I have driven up to the ranch. So that's where we are now. This is one of the most beautiful spots in Nebraska, in my opinion. It is lovely up here, especially in the summertime and the fall. So this is an enormous grass field We had the cows up here and grazing on these stalks for a while. So with cows come manure. And we're going to be growing this grass for some bales. And so I'm going to be taking the harrow, and our goal is to try and like spread the manure out evenly over the field. I hope it works. All right, I'll be honest, I feel like this job maybe isn't entirely necessary, but with that being said, it is working. Yeah, I'll call it a success. See, now it's all spread evenly all across the field. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. See you later.